Hello everybody and welcome to episode 14 of Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode. I kind of ran a lot of cables in between episodes and I'm pretty much gonna tear all of those down today. Because we're gonna switch over to P2p Tunnels as it's been suggested in the comments, and I looked at the tutorial just so I could remember again how P2p Tunnels worked. I pretty sure knew I remembered it properly, but I just had to check just to be safe. But basically, I will explain once I set a few of them up. So let me do that pretty much. But basically what I want is to have probably more than just 32 channels per like this block, because already, for example, if I want these guys, all of them, if I want to have an on redstone signal, so we don't just have them running constantly on like a void upgrade. For example, this cobblestone is running on a void upgrade because this just makes cobblestone for days. And I want to be able to put items back into the system and them go into the drawers. So basically I want to turn these stonework factories off before the drawer is fully filled up. So let's say we set it up for 300,000 items because we have a bunch of items right now, like that. And then we would turn the machine off. So each one of that would require a channel with a level limiter, for example. And I can probably get away with using a drawer controller in all of these setups. I can just probably somehow run. I can put one drawer controller here on top and one on the bottom, and that should be good. I don't really need to run trim anywhere in the back, because we need to transfer in and out from the machines with conduits, basically. So that's kind of the idea. So yeah, let me set up some of these P2p tunnels and I will explain how they work in the next clip. So to explain simply, and hopefully you will understand, the P2p tunnel will basically reduce the 32 channels that we're gonna get, and we can transfer over, for example, with a dense cable, and then we would have to run each dense cable very long, or dense conduit like I had before, to each location that we need 32 channels. But with P2p tunnels, we can put a P2p tunnel directly on an ME controller like this, and that's gonna receive 32 channels. Then we can use smart cable with different colors to designate where the cables should go, and basically just use one single cable. Over here, as you can see, it has 6 channels. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have 2 P2p tunnels over there, so that's 6 P2p tunnels, and I will set up the orange ones together so you will see how this works. But basically, we use 32 channels to transfer 32, for example, P2p tunnels to different locations, which then each of the P2p tunnels has 32 channels of its own because it's attached to a face of an ME controller. Wow, I'm out of breath. Okay, so basically we have 2 orange cables here, so that would be 64 channels total on both of these P2p tunnels. So if I grab these 2 cables over here, and for example, this will require channels at some point, for example, and let me see how I have it here. I have it like that. So let's grab another orange and we'll do orange, orange. Did I do it like that? Nope. Okay, so here and here, and we might not need the amount of channels that I'm setting up, but at some point we probably will in some of these situations if I want to have everything configured the way I do. So basically over here I will add a dense cable. Oops. Dense cable right here and right here. So that's going to be the outputs, and so we can see the channels. And then we're just going to run a regular dense conduit over here so I can run the power as well. So this will be 2 channels, and over here you can see 0 out of 0. But if I, for example, add, I don't have anything that would require a channel right now on me, but I'll show it here on the yellow side. For example, this has 18 channels and this has 2 channels, and you can see that's 1 channel, 2nd channel, and the 18 channels are for all of these guys. And in between episodes I replaced everything for smart cable because I can see channels that way. And on the normal ones, I really can't. And the way you configure these basically is you go over to here with a memory card. And first of all, don't have anything in your offhand. If you do, it's gonna say memory card clear or invalid machine. Like, you're not gonna be able to click on it. So you sneak right click in the air or on a block that isn't anything to clear the memory card. Then you can sneak right click and it gives it 4 different colors, as you can see. And then you take that over to the P2p tunnel. And I'm gonna have to check which one is it. And then you just right click, don't sneak right click. And you can then sneak right click and right click. And it transfers the same 4 colors over here, and that basically loads up the channels and they're now connected. So the 32 channels that I get from this is gonna be transferred over there via just a single cable, which is really nice. And I'm gonna have to rerun all of the power cables back because I kind of took those down. And I'm gonna have to see how I wanna fit it in because we're gonna have cables come in down from here as well. And what we can do basically, if we have a P2p tunnel here as well, we're gonna need to do some cable anchoring on this side so we don't connect to there, I think. What we can do is have basically 2 of the colors for each of the cables. So let's say we want to set up, that's gonna be orange, and let's do a red one here. Let's just grab all the red cables. We would go, for example, these 2 to be red. We just need to connect these to a dense cable. So what we could do is just run it. I mean, I can't really connect it over there. And I don't know if I can probably just do a regular smart cable here. And that'll be the red ones, and they can connect over to here. So that's gonna be, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I can just do that basically. And over here, for example, in the middle was what I wanted. If we take those 2 down and put the P2p tunnels back, I would, for example, run, because I would want 2 of the cables to be on each one. Can I sneak? Oh, I can sneak right in between. We can have that and that and that. That doesn't matter if it's connecting, it's just transmitting power, but we can add a cable anchor if we wanted to. So, okay. So that would be the red one, for example, and we can just add a smart cable to connect it, basically. And then, for example, we would have, let's say, green and lime. We can put 2 limes over here, and 2 greens and 2 limes, and then we can just we can put smart cables like down here, for example, or conduits or something, just so it connects, and it needs to connect to this one as well, and not have more than 8 channels. So we're gonna have to see. Those are connected independently. These are connected like so. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2, 4, 6. Yeah, that's fine if we just do a smart cable here. And then we disconnect it right. No. If we take these guys off, and then we take cable anchors and we put them over here, that should be fine if we connect it like that, basically. Or we can probably just do cables in the back. We can just put dense cables right here. And even if everything connects, it's just going to be connected because it's not going to be more than 32 channels. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we can put a dense cable over here. And that's going to be a bit of a weird, like, ME controller something. Okay, let me see about configuring the rest of the stuff so we can get our base back online, and I will show it to you once I'm finished with it. Okay, I have done a little bit of work, and I decided how I want to run the conduits everywhere, basically. So I have 3 on each corner here on the, ranging from white to black, with the gray and light gray in the middle, basically. And I'm going to have each of these 3 corners connected over to one of these corners, basically. So I can just run either, probably just on 2 sides. I don't even need to run it on both sides. So let's just do, this is east-west, so let's just do north and south. And I'm going to take these down. Actually, no, these are fine. They go to here, so that was perfectly fine. I just don't need to run them over to the edge, basically. I still have some P2p tunnels that are connected, which we shouldn't have, so they don't connect to the wrong thing. But basically, on the north and south here, we're just going to run this over. We don't want you connecting, please. Thank you very much. I'm just going to run this over to here, and I'm going to have just the P2p tunnels. Depending on how many channels I'll need, I'll just have 2 connected firstly. I'll just run the cable probably right to here. And we're going to have just one in the center and the other one is in the center as well. And if we need more than 32 channels, we have the ability to add 1 more P2p tunnel. So that should be fine for what we want to do here. I'll just run it like that and like this. Okay. And the way I have everything else set up, basically, well, I'm dropping everything. Hold on. Basically, the red and the yellow are going to go over here, and red is going to be there, yellow is going to be there, and then the lime and the green is going to be the same place over there, and so forth around. I have magenta and purple and light blue and regular blue, and then down here I have cyan, I believe, or is it light blue? Cyan, pink, brown, and orange, and each one of those is connected to one down here. So you can see the orange one is here, and it's outputting 15 channels for all of these. basically for the storage and for the interfaces, because there's 14 interfaces total and 1 storage, so it's 15 channels. And that's basically on these 4 sides. The power I'm still gonna run here somewhere in the middle, and possibly either do facades or just run it in the floor, but that would be this ceiling. So I don't know how I want to run that just yet. We can also use P2p tunnels to run power, because if we look at P2p, there is an there's a FE P2p tunnel, which basically transports forge energy, which is RF, and that's just the kind of generalized one. And I can use those as well to run power. So you could, for example, have, I believe, one P2p tunnel over here. For example, on the output that I have here on the bottom, I could put it on the top if need be, but I could have a P2p here and then just run it on the dense cable that's coming over to here, or possibly in the ceiling. It would be easier. But I could connect it over to here, and then I would have the power kind of in an ME network. That being the case, I would require to have a P2p tunnel everywhere where I require power here, which will kind of shorten the power cables, but I don't know if I want to do that yet. Probably will be a good idea, but I'm not sure. So yeah, let me see and connect all of the other cables that I need, and then we're gonna see about hooking up the power. After a couple of minutes, half an hour or so, I don't know how long it took me, of cabling, I have all of it connected. Every single one has a power ME or ME, power P2p tunnel, so an FE P2p tunnel, and an ME P2p tunnel, and basically 2 of them on this side and 3 of them on here. I have the corner ones done like this because we have 3 and then 1 for the power, so it's perfectly fits in this 4x4. The way we're gonna get cables out is probably just gonna be putting 1 dense cable here, 1 dense cable here, and then putting cable anchors like so. And then we can put a dense cable like this. And hello dog barking outside. Okay, so basically how you get the FE P2p tunnel, because if we look at a recipe, P2p, you can see that they're all here, but you can only craft this one. Like that's the only crafting recipe. If I click on any of those, nothing shows up. So you have to configure it manually first, and if you then connect it with the memory card, it's going to configure to the one that it's connected to, basically is what I mean. So if we grab I'll just grab a dense cable just so it connects over here. And if I just right click this guy with something that transmits power, that's going to be connected and that's going to do power. So that's pretty much it. And if you want to do it for water, for example, you can just hit it with a water bucket or a fluid conduit or something. So if we, for example, I can show you this as well. So let's look at conduits. If I take just singular fluid conduit and then we grab a dense cable, just so we get this guy placed the way we want it to, and I can just right click it. Apparently that still does FE because it's a conduit. Interesting. But if I grab a water bucket, I assume, if we just craft one, we're missing the essence because I don't have it connected. Okay, can I hit you with this? Yeah, there we go. You hit it with something water, it turns into fluid. There we go. So basically everything is connected, and the way I do the power down here is I have, if we go over to here, I added another output over to here, and that's got a FE P2p, and you can see an input side and 12 outputs. So each one of those is hooked up to just basically this P2p, and this is using 1 channel on the thing, and this is also using a singular channel on each side. So we should be good on the channels because I have, this guy's is 11 channels, and it should be the same on each side. Oh, this one's using 18. Yeah, these two, the north and south, are going to have a bit more, but it's 18 channels, so we're pretty much good. I could even be using the same dense cable and just having everything hooked up, but for right now, I have just these guys hooked up over here, and just because they have a connection over to our storage network, basically, to our ME controller, it doesn't matter where I output them. They don't have to be on the same conduit, if you get what I mean. Like, these lime and green are on the same conduit. That doesn't need to be the case. Like, I could put another P2p tunnel. For example, I still have sides open. If we go up here, I could put, for example, 4 more P2p tunnels here and another however many I want here. And as long as I have them connected to the controller, if I have channels on the conduit that it is running off of, basically, it's gonna be connected, is what I'm trying to say. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, it didn't, but that's fine. Okay, so now that I have everything back, I think I want to go into some lava production. I don't know how much this is going to be using. I made it off camera, and we have an igneous extruder that I can just use and pump water into, and lava as well to make obsidian, because the igneous extruder has a different recipe. Igneous extruder. It just uses the device frame and a copper coil block, which is really easy to make. And I also got the kits, these guys, from a reward of the questing. And I just upgraded it, and we still need to do augments, but for that I need to either toss things at the atomic reconstructor, or I think I need to do things with infusing factories to get the right amounts of stuff and all that. But we'll upgrade it as we go. So this lava fabricator uses 200,000 RF per tick, and we can reduce that by grabbing our Tesla upgrades. If we do some of these, I could probably just do the energy, and that's gonna lower it. And we don't need to do speeds, because that's going to be probably increased. But if we go, let's say over here, I don't know how much space this is going to take. If we do, we probably would want lava for some other stuff. Do we need lava for anything else? If I look at uses for lava, demon ingots, flux. I mean, that's just the bucket. But I think the only thing that we would need it is maybe for other stuff, because we are going to need to make diorite as well. So that's going to be using no water, or just a single lava and water. Yeah, I'm probably going to put this over here, because we have, or over here at least, because we have all of the blocky bits here, so we can just set it up over here basically. Let's do it on this side, and if we would do that, and I would want some sort of tank that is not this, because this requires a black hole talisman, which is Elementium, and Gaia Spirits, which is Botania, and it's not going to happen today. So I will put maybe this. I think I made this over here. We can just grab this one. It's full of lava anyway. And if we do, that looks fine. Yeah. And if we set you on left side to be input, and auto input is unavailable. Interesting. And then we would output on the right, and that would output to a drawer. So we can probably do, let's go grab a drawer. And I think we have obsidian already in the drawers somewhere. Yeah, over here. We have 1,000 of it. That's trim. Okay. I was like, drawer. And the first thing is the trim that I grabbed, because it's on the topmost bit. We need you. Thank you. Nope, one more down. Okay. So then we can just easily do this. Let me grab, whoops, put you inside. Should be fine. And let me just grab my keys, so we can just do that. Oh, and that had cactus green somewhere in the system. Okay. Let's put delighted meals back so we can do that. And I need a cardboard box, so we can just grab you. Okay, so that's all the obsidian cleared out, so we don't have a problem with that. I could have just run I can't really run the disk through the IO port, or I can't run the drawers from through the IO port, so that's fine. Okay, over here, we add the drawer with obsidian. We can lock it, also quantify it, like that. Toss the cables back. Okay, so then the lava fabricator. I mean, the weird part is this is 4 wide, and we could probably get away with, I mean, we could do a magma crucible, but I don't think we can get to a magma crucible. So we're just not going to do that right now. Okay, let's just run power through here, just to both of these machines, and we need to auto input into here. What if we do this? Hold on. Let's put the lava fab here. We're going to put this tank here, just so we can have a storage bus or something on it, and then we can grab a fluid conduit. And we're just going to have the middle block be empty or something, and we're just going to put a conduit here. I'm going to say extract always active. That should be inserting. Okay. And then I need water here, so we're just going to grab a sink. And I could be doing this with, I could have a sink and an external storage on the sink. And just do that, but we're gonna just place it here for the moment because it's gonna be easier, and say extract always active and back input. There we go. And we need to set you on obsidian. So this is using quite a bit of power, and we can just give it some of these. So it's going to be using a bit less, I think. And you're not going to be auto outputting anyway, so we need to do the whole conduit thing in the back as well. So we can just do, that. How did I manage? No, break, please. Thank you. Okay, extract always active. Insert. Oh, that's, no. We need you to be extract always active. Okay. So this is going to be using a whole bunch of power, 175,000 RF, to slowly make obsidian, and it's going to make 2,000 obsidian, which is fine. The power, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with this. How much are you outputting? 5,000? Looks like it. Okay, so that's like 5,000 RF per tick, and it just needs to charge up to that amount of power. Okay, that's fine. Sure. Okay, so that's Obsidian automated. I just need to add a storage bus and get everything cleaned up. I decided to move everything over here, and let me just grab some facades so I can cover everything up. We need these, and that should be what we all could get. So let me just cover this up, and then I'll explain how all of this works. I kind of have the fluid storage bus on the sink. Yeah, hold on, let me view through facades. There we go. So the fluid storage bus is on here on the sink. I don't want to have it on the fluid storage tank. I just want to have the tank there for visibility purposes. And this is going to be, I think, if we set the priority and the partition, it's going to be storing, I think, 2 billion, or it's the max amount, as you can see up top there, of millibuckets of water. And that can just, I can just use fluid export buses to export it anywhere I need water, which is really neat. So over here, I can export lava and water in the same fluid export bus. And this makes Obsidian. Then I have an external storage, and Conduit on extract mode, all active with signal. And I have a ME level emitter emitting a signal when this drops below 1024, so we have 1066 or 1656 in this drawer right now. So when it drains below, it's gonna export more as we need to. And over here, I have 2 lava fabricators. Each one uses 5,000 RF per tick, as I figured out in the last clip. So that should be all that we want and all that we need. So that should be good. Okay, if I cover this up with a facade this is painted with just regular sandstone, is it? Yeah, that's, no. Can I just remove the facade without removing the conduit? If I break that, there we go. Okay, so I'll have to put another facade there, and we can also put another Celtic over here. So that's really neat. Okay, I think I didn't show, but in between episodes, I set up this guy, and I don't know if I want to have this permanently set up this way, because again, if I grab some conduits out of the storage system and toss them back in, it's going to go back into the storage chests. But once we're at the point where we can put everything on ME drives, because currently if we just start tossing everything into the ME drives, this is ME drive in here, it's going to fill up super fast. And my brain is very wonky today. So, okay, next order of business that I want to do is making the atomic alloy is kind of I want to finish off today's episode with. So we need to take the obsidian, put it in an enrichment chamber so we get pulverized obsidian, and then we can use the pulverized obsidian in not a combiner, in a metallurgic infuser with diamond dust, which we can extract from the back of here. We have a conduit. We can just run it over here to this metallurgic infuser, and we can use an infusing factory if we wanted to, but I think just a single infuser will do. I'll probably make it an infusing factory though, because it has a full block look and the metallurgic infuser doesn't. And it's gonna stop anyway when it's done, so it's fine. And then the refined obsidian dust is used to make the mechanism exchanger, which is not a thing that we're gonna ever need. The arc furnace is used to make it into refined obsidian ingots, but we can put it in another enrichment chamber to get compressed obsidian. So we're gonna have to set that up probably up here. Probably. That is exactly how you say this, because I have 2 of these here, and from the compressed varieties, we only have the obsidian, and we're making the coal here because it's only used for steel and nothing really else other than enriched iron, and using gold dust to make whole rounds, which are the gas thing, like a gas pipette or something like that from Mechanism as well. So yeah, let me set this up. I'm babbling around for everything that I don't need to say, and I will do that and be back shortly. So far, I have set up that we turn Obsidian with an Enrichment Chamber into pulverized Obsidian, and then we infuse it with compressed diamonds to make refined Obsidian dust, which is really neat, and it's going to be useful for us to make the atomic alloy, basically. So I can just cover this up with facades, even though you can't really see what I'm covering up. But the way I set this up, I had to have an input on the top as well, because I can't really input the extra item. If we look into the side config, I can't input extra and have a regular input on the same side, because Mechanism isn't as cool as thermal expansion is, because you can in and out on the same side, or input into two slots at the same time. For example, like the induction smelter can, for example. And you could limit that with, for example, a limiting item filter in an item conduit and have no problems. But that's it is the way it is. My brain is so wonky today. I'm like, seriously, everything is just weird. I'm going off on tangents left and right, up and down and all that. Okay, so the refined obsidian dust, we need to compress it with an enrichment chamber into compressed diamonds. We don't necessarily have to. So if we just take, for example, let me see. If I take this and no, that's the infusing factory. That gets us 10 obsidian, okay? And if we take this and put it through an enriching factory, I believe is what we need. Oh yeah, or an enrichment chamber. Do you have power? You do not. Do we have anything? This is an enrichment chamber. Can I just do this? It's not an enrichment chamber. Uses. Enrichment chamber to make compressed obsidian. Why are you not? Hold on, let me grab. Okay, interesting. So if I turn this into compressed obsidian, and that's gonna just input obsidian now, that's fine. We can toss the obsidian back in here. Okay, so the compressed obsidian will get us, okay, that's 8 total. So that's a big increase if we just use one machine instead of using just this for the atomic alloy. So yeah, let me set that up somewhere. I need a enrichment chamber, and I turned it into an enriching factory. I don't know why I did that, but we just need an enrichment chamber. So if we go over here, chamber, enrichment chamber, here you are, boom. I still have a few steel casings, so I can get this done. So the compressed obsidian is used just to make the atomic alloy, so I don't really, I mean, I would love to set it up here, which probably we can. If we take this off, and if we put the enrichment chamber here, we can run conduits in the back over here. We can just say boom and boom, just to run it over. That should be fine. And we can put a drawer right here with compressed obsidian, and we can just have an export bus here on the side, and we can say export this, find obsidian dust, and we can say this be input, output, auto eject on, that speed upgrade. Okay, and we need to give you these and these. Okay, and then I need a storage downgrade so we don't make too much of the stuff, and just lock it and lock it. Nice. I like that, actually. I'm okay with that. So if I just turn off the facades, yeah, that's fine. I could even put it up one higher. I think that we have cable right there, but I can put it up one higher if I wanted to, and that way it would look a bit interesting, I guess. And then we just need to extract in the back here with an item conduit. Over here we're gonna extract on which one are we extracting? We're putting in on that, and I was extracting on another different channel, but we can extract on magenta, for example, and then go over to here and say insert magenta. And that should get, if we configure this correctly, if we say auto eject on, and this needs to be extra, we should get compressed obsidian. Awesome. And you need to output on the left. And then what else we need in here? We need this alloy, right? So we can give you an acceleration upgrade, auto sort on, and energy and speed. And then I have to make more upgrades. And you're out of power because you need a reconnect, I assume. Okay, I took out the wrong item conduit. Hold on. Yellow wrench to the rescue. I love that you can look at each of the type of conduit individually and just extract it, which is lovely. Okay, do you have power now? You do. You just don't have an input on the bottom. There it goes. Nice. Atomic alloy. And auto eject is on the left. We just need to add atomic alloy to here. Do I have... It's now going to show this, but I don't know if I have any other atomic alloy in the system. So let's turn you on redstone low for the moment, just so I can say this to be on insert only. And we look at alloy. I do have 40 atomic alloy. There it goes. That's what I wanted to clear. So we can just do bidirectional, and this can be on redstone high, and we're gonna say emit when we have... We don't need that much of this. We can do 512. And emit when levels are below limit. Okay, so that's gonna do this. This is gonna keep on making this, and everything else gets just like continuously made. Awesome. So yeah, I think this is gonna be it for today. I think the episode is running pretty long already. I'm not sure, but I want to thank you all for watching. I'm hoping you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Also consider subscribing to see new videos. Support me on Patreon if you want. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have a great one. Bye-bye.